Hello, my name is Deontay Nicholas, and today I'd like to talk to you about wearing a safety belt and why it's important in today's society. Fact: 13 to 20-year-olds in 2012 that died in a car crash, 55% of them were not wearing a seatbelt, and that shows you that wearing a seatbelt can prevent fatal injuries and many deaths in today's society. And that comes from the CDC in 2012. Wearing a seatbelt is important in today's society because of the main distractions we have that can cause fatal deaths or injuries. And those distractions are your cell phones, maybe the music you listen to, or if you have TVs in the headrest. Any loud music or sounds that could distract you from driving. And those lead us to need to have a safe environment inside of the car by wearing our seatbelts and using the proper restraints for our children. I'd like to talk today about three subject matters about wearing a seatbelt: from the driver's perspective, from the children and passengers in the car, and also the Michigan laws we have here that state facts and restrictions about wearing a seatbelt. First, I'd like to talk to you about from the driver's perspective and why it's important that they wear a seatbelt. 18 to 34-year-olds are less likely to wear a seatbelt than adults 35 plus. That comes from the CDC also, speaking about age difference and why they wear seatbelts and why they don't. I think this is creating a stigma that we do not have to wear a seatbelt if we're younger and we know how to drive because we passed the test. And I think that the older community is realizing that we have to wear a seatbelt because they've seen the stories and they've seen the accidents. And I think that we can prevent those stories and accidents from happening to our younger society now by educating them on the fact that wearing a seatbelt can save so many lives. And literally all you have to do is make it a habitual event to put your seatbelt on every time you get in the car. Also, wearing a seatbelt can be stigmatized by your gender. Men are 10% less likely to wear a seatbelt than females, and that comes from the CDC also. And that speaks to men feeling more dominant in the situation of driving the car, and they are feeling more invincible behind the wheel. Wearing a seatbelt and having proper air baggage in your car are creating the safest environment for you and everyone inside of the car while you are driving. And I believe that if you have your seatbelt on, you are reducing the chances of you having a fatal injury or death. Now I'd like to talk about children and passengers in the vehicle. Children and passengers in the vehicle are very important in the idea of wearing a seatbelt because they are demanded upon by the driver to wear the seatbelt or not. So basically the driver sets the tone for everyone in the car to wear the seatbelt or be in the right restraint. And that reduces the risk of fatal injury or death. The reduction of risk for children 4 to 8 years old, infants, toddlers, and children under 16 years old that have to wear a seatbelt in the back seat all can be reduced because of the fact of wearing a seatbelt and being in the right restraint. Infants and toddlers must be in car seats. 4 to 8-year-olds must be in booster seats, and children under the age of 16 in the back seat must wear their seatbelts. All these are reduced by significant numbers. Infants by 71%, toddlers by 54%, children 4 to 8-year-olds by 45%, and children under 16 by 50%. Those are all from the CDC talking about children's safety and precautions. Drunk driving has become also an issue. 61% of drunk driving accidents that occurred, someone or both in the car were not wearing a seatbelt. And as I said before, the driver sets the tone for everyone in the car to wear a seatbelt or wear restraints. And I think we need to educate the drivers more and tell them about creating the idea of everyone in the car must wear a seatbelt to save lives. By being the driver, you are responsible for everyone's life in the vehicle, and you have to set the tone so that you do not have blood on your hands if something was to go wrong. Finally, I'd like to talk about the Michigan laws that prevent us from driving around without wearing a seatbelt. These are very important because they save lives also, and I think if it's mandated in Michigan that we are making conscious effort to save lives. Police officers are not allowed to pull you over and ticket you for not buckling up and wearing your seatbelt. I think this is very important because people have been lackadaisical in different states, and we've seen the outcomes of that. And I think that we are pushing forward to become better in society and making a conscious effort to change. And these are all from the Better Guide to Michigan Safety Laws that I found online. Increased penalties for higher fines and more points in your driver record for not wearing a seatbelt have been institutionalized here in Michigan. Those are very important because they let the drivers know that they must wear a seatbelt or they'll have to face fines in the law. There are child restraints for a different age, weight, and height of children that I stated before, and those must be followed also, or the driver can be ticketed for that. Michigan laws are primary laws, so if the driver and the front passenger aren't buckled in, both could receive tickets. All drivers and front passengers must wear seatbelts in the state of Michigan. The only person that is not allowed to wear, that is able to not wear a seatbelt in the state of Michigan, is a passenger in the back seat over the age of 16. But as I said before, the attitude of the driver can dictate who wears a seatbelt in the car, and that's who should be responsible for everyone wearing a seatbelt in the vehicle, because they're basically saving lives and reducing the risk of injuries. Always remember, by not wearing your seatbelt, you are increasing the risk of fatal injury or death by anyone in the car. So by wearing your seatbelt and making it an habitual event, you are saving a life of your own and others in the car with you. So wearing a seatbelt is very important in today's society because of the many distractions that we face. As I said before, cell phones, music, maybe a TV in the headrest can distract you all by driving because it can take your attention away from the car at hand. And I think that because of all these distractions, we don't have to get rid of them, but we must create a safety environment inside the car, and that starts with wearing your seatbelt. And food for thought. Imagine if you lost a loved one or accidentally killed an innocent stranger because you didn't put your seatbelt on. I think that the situation we have in today's life, that if you were driving with someone and they're in the front seat and they flew through the window because you didn't tell them to put their seatbelt on, you are responsible for that. Imagine going to sleep every night with that pain. How would you feel? Thank you for listening to my speech.